Hello everyone, for Channel 6 TV Community Focus, I'm Dennis George, and Marion County has a new football coach at the high school. He's a gentleman who may be new to you, but I guess he would say you're not new to Marion County. Alan Harmon, new football coach, congratulations and welcome.
Thank you. It's very excited for the opportunity, and look forward to getting here in the community and working with the kids and getting things going.
All right, but you're not a stranger to Marion County, so go ahead and introduce yourself to the people and give them some of your background.
Well, definitely not a stranger to the county. My family has a farm in Gravel Switch. It's where my dad was born and raised, Minor Harmon. My grandmother, Madeline Harmon, she taught at Glasscock Elementary for, I think, 45 years. My granddad, Alan Harmon Sr., worked in the community here and had the farm, and so it kind of feels like I'm coming home to Marion County, even though I'm from Nelson County. But I spent a lot of time here as a child growing up, and being over at the family farm, and it's a very great feeling to be coming back to the family farm.
Okay, area. Of course, your dad was a sharpshooter, Lebanon High School as a basketball player, good baseball player. Of course, he left, went to Eastern. Was a coach in the Nelson County system, and I guess that's where you grew up. And talk about your athletic career while at Nelson. Well,
I grew up, in the gym, going to practice with my dad and his basketball teams, and when I got to high school, I played basketball, baseball, and football, and always, loved all of them. But football held a special place in my heart for some reason, and so when I got into college, my cousin got me into working football camps for him, Neil Brown.
Okay, let's talk about your, go ahead, let's talk about the family tree. You talked about your dad, and I guess people may not be aware, your Uncle Tom Brown was a coach himself.
He was.
And of course, Neil Brown, I guess was offensive coordinator for a couple of years in Kentucky and the head football coach at Troy. So your family tree is there, but go ahead and talk about what Neil's had you do.
Well, early on in college, I expressed to Neil that I wanted to get into football and coaching, and he afforded me the opportunity to work some of his summer camps when he was at his first stint at Troy University as wide receiver coach, and he later became offensive coordinator there, and then he moved to Texas Tech and to Kentucky, and now he's the head coach back at Troy. So Neil had me come down and get involved early on in my college career with helping with the football camps, and that really gave me a good understanding and background as to what it would take to be a good coach. And I got to meet a lot of good coaches in the high school and the college ranks through those camps. So it was a good experience.
All right, where'd you go to college?
I went to University of Kentucky.
Okay, you went to UK, and then I guess if you've been in Western Kentucky since graduation,
yes,
if you want to talk about that.
I graduated in December of 2008. Got on at Lone Oak High School down in Paducah, far western Kentucky, with legendary coach Jack Haskins. His son Billy Jack was a quarterback at UK for some time, and in the early '90s, and so I was very fortunate to get to have Coach Haskins as my mentor. And we actually played Marion County High School in a semifinal game in 2009. They came down to our place at Lone Oak and gave us a heck of a game, and we were able to kind of outlast them and win that game at Lone Oak. But I could tell then that Marion County had some special talent, and hopefully we'll get it back to that.
All right, when people go into coaching, they talk about people who had an impact on them, and I guess one of your first coaches then was your dad. And I coached a son for years, and he was basically the whipping boy, and if you wanted to get a message across, he got punished. Your dad was very fiery on the sidelines. I know he impacted you, but talk about some of the coaches who impacted your style of coaching.
Well, obviously growing up, going to practices with my dad and games, riding the team bus and all that, huge influence on me as a young man and coach getting into the profession. Then I mentioned being able to work with my cousin Neil Brown with those system camps, and Tony Franklin, who is now at Middle Tennessee State as offensive coordinator. He was at Cal the past few years, but those guys influenced the offensive philosophy. And then I mentioned Jack Haskins, and he had a huge impact as well on not only teaching me you know, how to, you know, X's and O's of, you know, football, but how to build a program and all the little details that go into, you know, from Little League on up to the high school program. He had a huge impact on that.
All right, given you've mentioned Neil Brown and you've mentioned Tony Franklin, so is it safe to assume your expertise is on the offensive side of the football?
Yes, and, you know, that is, you know, fair statement, but Coach Haskins also taught me a great deal about defense as well, and that helped. And, you know, he made me understand you need to be well-rounded, you know, not only in your offense, you know, which I guess would be my specialty, but, you know, I have a very sound, you know, philosophy of defense from Coach Haskins, and I know that side of the ball well. So, you know, in special teams, you got to have all three phases when it comes to football. So, in order to be, you know, a good head coach, you got to understand all phases.
All right, you mentioned Little League programs and middle school programs. So, as you come to rebuild the program here at Marion County High School, will you be hands-on at those levels, and what will you do to get those kids ready to move through the system?
Absolutely, I want to be hands-on, and one thing that I would like to do is, you know, get down there with my myself, and, you know, when I get my coaching staff together, and we'll go and put on Little League clinics or camps, and work with those Little League coaches and the people who run the you know, Little League program, and try to figure out ways to get more kids involved, try to make the, you know, game safer, you know, maybe implementing some different types of leagues, whether it's flag football or whatever it may be, passing leagues. And then with the middle school, definitely be hands-on with them, because they're your feeder program into your high school. And if they're not sound and you don't have kids out and enthused about playing, then that doesn't translate well into the, you know, the high school level. So definitely be hands-on with those coaches, and you know, you got to build it from the bottom. So. All
right, when they get to the high school level, and even in August and September when the season starts, if the interested Marion County football fan comes out to watch your team play, what can they expect? What type of offense, what type of system do you anticipate putting in?
Well, offensively, we're going to run a high-paced, up-tempo spread offense, 4 and 5 wide receivers. We're going to chuck the ball all over the field, and then again, we're going to throw it to set up the run. You know, I want to have a balanced attack. A lot of people associate.
I thought they ran to set up the. Okay.
Yeah, well, we're going to do a little different. We might throw it to set up the run. It just depends on, you spread them out and you get the numbers you want in the box, and then we can block 5-on-5 and, you know, establish a running game. So you want to be balanced attack and be able to, you know, hit people with different things. But, you know, we'll be up tempo. We won't huddle. We'll signal plays in off an armband. The kids will look down and tell them what they need to run, and fast paced. You know, and then on defense, I want to play a very sound, fundamental type of defense that'll be based off a 50 scheme, and make it to where the kids, you know, they're not thinking, they're just reacting, because if they're thinking, they're playing slow, and if you play slow, you're going to get beat. So you just want kids flying around to the football and making plays. So
more instinctive type rather than thinking about what they have to do.
You don't want to make it too complex, because again, they'll be sitting back on their heels thinking instead of knowing exactly what they need to do, seeing it, reacting, and go to the ball.
All right, and I know back when you applied, I mean, your dad caught me at a basketball game, was asking all these questions. I had no idea why, okay? This is your first day on the job, is that correct?
It is.
All right, so you're looking through the hallways, and I know your dad kept saying, I know they have athletes, I know they have athletes. As you look through the hallways today, what do you see?
I see some good-looking kids. You know, some kids that got the, you know, the body you look for in terms of, you know, a football player or just an athlete. You can tell by the way they carry themselves and, you know, walk down the hall. And, you know, I'm going to work with the administration and, you know, some of the kids on the team and find out who are these kids that we need to make sure that get back out on the football field, and go talk with those kids and offer and show what I have to offer them in terms of an exciting type of football to play, and, you know, do my best to, you know, get all the kids out that want to play out there and be a part of it.
Okay, and you know, of course, as we said, it's a time for you to come home, and I know your dad's probably more excited about it than you are, but you said, we always tease with him, and I think it's a known fact that the 2 years that Marion County in 92, 93 won the region, went to the state, and the next year not only won the region and went to the state, but was in the state championship team. I don't think there's any question that, you know, your dad would have been to the state tournament had we not beat him when he had the good teams at Nelson. And but he says that people to this day from here always say nice things about him, and understandably so because of the type of person he is. But are you getting some feel from people from around here that you're Minor's son and wanting to step forward and help a little bit?
Yeah, and it's been a great thing. Different people in the community that know my father, knew my grandparents, and they'll come up and tell me a story about my grandmother teaching them, or whatever it may be, just or going to school with my dad at Lebanon High, and and that kind of support makes you feel welcomed, and it's always good to know that you got people backing you up.
Yeah, the only thing you have to do now is put a good product on the field and win. Is that right? That's where the pressure's on you.
Well,
is that right?
That is, and that's what we're going to do, and we're going to making an event on Friday nights is what I want to do here, and make it to where the community wants to come out, and they're going to have a quality product and a good bunch of boys to root for.
All right, as you say that, obviously last year failed to win a football game. Do you have a timetable, or do you expect to win year one?
Well, you always expect to win. When I get the kids together, after spring break and start putting them through drills and all, that kind of stuff, I'll get a better feel of kind of where we're at. And, last year's in the past. I'm not worried about it. We're going to wipe the slate clean and, move forward. But definitely, we're going to go into every game thinking we have a chance to win, and we're going to game plan and, work our hardest as we possibly can in order to, to win. But, again, Rome wasn't built in a day, so
it's going to take a while.
It's going to take a while, but I feel like that we'll have a product that the community will like, and over the next few years, I think it'll be something that they can be proud of as well.
Okay, well, welcome back to Lebanon, and wish you good luck this year.
All right, thank you.
All right, head football coach, the new head football coach at Marion County High School, Alan Harmon. For Channel 6 TV Community Focus, I'm Dennis George.